Today in the Texas Tribune Weekend Insider. Until courts can hash out the state's abortion sonogram law, Texas must begin enforcing the new regulations. Editor Emily Ramshaw tells us how family planning clinics are complying. Under threat of closure by the state, one Texas school district is doing something unheard of. It's canceling all sports. Morgan Smith takes us to Fremont, Texas.
The abortion sonogram legislation that passed in the last legislative session basically requires women who are seeking abortions to 24 hours ahead of the abortion have a sonogram. They have to listen to the heartbeat. The doctor has to show the woman the image on the sonogram. And if the woman refuses to look at the image, the doctor basically has to go through a description of what is on the sonogram, how long the fetus's limbs are, how strong the heartbeat is, those kinds of details. Ever since the law went into effect, it has been tied up in litigation. Obviously, Right to Lifers say this is absolutely necessary. It's providing medical information to mothers who may change their minds, who may decide after seeing this image on the sonogram, oh my gosh, I don't want to go through with this. Abortion providers say that when a woman walks into an abortion clinic, she's already made up her mind, that having to, go through all of these other hurdles is not going to change her mind. And that what the state is doing is basically just putting all kinds of bureaucracy and red tape in the way of these women who have already made a very difficult decision. The question over whether abortion doctors have to show the woman the image, play the heartbeat on the sonogram, that's still tied up in courts and probably will be in the courts for, another couple of months. In the meantime, an appellate court has said, at Attorney General Greg Abbott's request, that the law must go into effect while the constitutionality of this process is being decided in the courts.
A school district in Fremont, Texas is faced with closure from the state after several years of poor academic and financial performance. The school district has managed to broker a deal with TEA saying that in order to stay open, that if they meet a series of 11 goals in the next year, that they'll be able to avoid closure. Part of that is coming up with a substantial sum of money. They have to retire a $400,000 line of credit. And then they also have to make serious improvement on state tests. So the superintendent there has suspended sports for a year. He estimates that it will save about $150,000 in costs, and it would also help students focus more on academics since they really have to raise their performance on the state tests in the spring. The students that I talked to there really have mixed feelings about it. You talk to some of the freshmen who talk about how they have been looking forward since they were little kids to playing high school sports. But then they also know that if the district doesn't stay open, then they won't be able to play on the same sports teams as their older brothers and sisters or their older cousins. So students seem to understand if the district closes, it will be annexed by San Diego ISD, which is about an hour down the road. The logistics of that haven't been worked out yet, but what the superintendent says and what I think a lot of the teachers and the principals there is that they don't know if they're going to be able to stay open, but they are going to make their best effort.